One thing you said that clicked my mind, covering the Ecowas Parliament, I saw is very important, is learning the French and Portuguese language. As someone coming from Ghana, the president of Ghana has really emphasized how important is the learning of the French language and the Portuguese language if we are to help the integration process, because the whole system coming in here, what I get is that because of the language barrier, working to get integration done, there is a little bit of suspicion, the French suspecting the Anglophone, the Lusophone, and all that. How do we break that as a separation, especially the English-speaking countries? It looks like we are not doing more to...
Language, what I've come to realize, language is very critical in any multicultural environment, in any integration process, even in bringing countries together, in bringing peace also, to a large extent. Because when you understand each other, and you raise a particular point and a word, suspicion, you minimize suspicion. If I can communicate with you in a language, when I meet you first time and we can communicate in that language, then the first thing I say, oh, I met my brother. That is how it is, But where you cannot, and you have to have a third party, then there's suspicion. Am I really dealing with the right person? Am I at the right place? So language is very key in the integration architecture, the integration agenda. Yes. So we need to encourage member states and then our countries, to deepen the study of language, especially the three languages that are our official languages. And again, you mentioned about the Anglophones. It is true. Ghana and Nigeria, we are very lackadaisical about language. Probably we think that we are okay. It's a British attitude, that British pride, that English is ruling the world, and then when you can dish out in the Queen's, language, and then the repertoire, you have the right word, and they say yes, speaking the Queen's English. So that pride is in us, I believe. I may be wrong, but in the case of the Anglophones, the Francophones, English is compulsory up to university level. Yes. English is compulsory up to university level. But it is not the case in the Anglophone, sector. As I'm saying, probably we think that we are okay. If you look at Nigeria, they are the biggest economy in Africa, very powerful, very rich, a very, very rich country. They can live in their country without going outside, and they will be comfortable. They have 36 states, including the FCT. If they decide to trade amongst themselves within the states, they don't need anybody, even though that is not the ideal. So you don't find them going out to look for, pastures, especially within the sub-region, except it's America or Europe. So that is the extent to which we relegate language in the Anglophone countries. Ghana is not compulsory. I know, as I said, I started as a language student. I did French, up to the sixth form, did French and Spanish in Legon for 1 year. I know there used to be an institute, a college, Mount Mary Training College in Somanya, and providing French. Was supported by the French government, but subsequently some governments came and didn't give it priority, and even converted it as just one of the the post-secondary schools, and that specialization was taken away, and only people who are interested would try to find where to go and learn it. So that is the problem with Anglophone West Africa, particularly Ghana and Nigeria, except those, at the frontiers of our countries, they make effort. You find some areas in Togo, areas in Ghana, so it clicks. You get some northerners in northern Ghana with Burkina Faso and Togo, northern Togo, so they are able to express interest in it. But you find very difficult those in the interior being interested, because they are not aware, they are not exposed, they don't know what it will do for them. They just know that, if they finish school or go to Accra, get a job, or you come to Abuja and then you get your job, and then you are a businessman, and that is that. They forget that you could increase that if they are able to relate to their brothers and sisters in the other Francophone countries. So that is the problem with Anglophone West Africa, Ghana, and then Nigeria, including Sierra Leone, and then Gambia. Gambia is a bit better because of, Senegal. So we need to do something, because moving forward, and with the African Continental Free Trade Area also coming, that people have to have that opportunity, of doing business seamlessly. Language comes very handy, very, very, very important, instead of always looking for third parties to interpret. Interpretation has its own challenges. Whether they are telling you they write what the other person is saying properly is another matter. So for me, to answer that question on language, I would have said that conscious efforts be made by Ghana and Nigeria, to make it compulsory, and very rewarding. I keep telling some staff and people who approach me, I say, if you want job tomorrow in the Ecowas, in my office, go and learn Portuguese. Because we can't find them, and we need them. We need Portuguese-speaking people. Yes, we have interpreters, but it is not sufficient. If you can have a staff, Kweku, speaking French, English, Portuguese, you will see how much productivity that could come out if Kweku decides to do the right thing. Because you would have even saved cost. Kweku will understand documents coming in Portuguese and act on them. And I'm sure you appreciated presidents of the commission like President Brew, Cassie Brew, who just left. Anytime he came and spoke French, English, Portuguese, then he had standing ovation. And he didn't need an interpreter. He didn't need to engage an interpreter hugely to do work on Portuguese documents. So that is also very important moving forward in an integration process, that we need to encourage language. Again, I give you an example. I was one time in the European Parliament. We visited the European Parliament somewhere 2012. We were interacting with our fellow staff, and each one of them could speak a minimum of 4 European languages. Yes, I'm telling you the thing. I was came and spoke. One guy came and spoke English so well, beautifully. After that, when he said he's a Polish. Yes. So that is, if integration systems are working, language is very key, very critical in the success. So we should really take that language thing seriously. We seem to be not giving it the appropriate attention.
As the administrative